much, Mike, for being here and your team. We're looking forward to your presentation. We have a 15-minute presentation, just like in all the other rooms, and a 10-minute Q&A. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. Can everyone see our presentation? Great. So my name is Mike Smith. I will be the lead presenter today. I'm the principal of our Upper Lake Middle School. We are a rural school district in Northern California. So go 49ers. I know this is a big Ram area. We have just under roughly 900 students in our district, so fairly small. We have about 3 sites, an elementary, middle, high school with a continuation school as well. We are partnered with our 2 local tribes, Upper Lake Habemetal and Robinson Rancheria, and you will see that connection in the slides to come. I will be introducing our team on the next slide. So as you see, the kind of the word cloud, this group makes up our group of support, which we'll get into the specifics on future cards, but I would like to have our district leaders present themselves. Stephanie?
Sure, I'm Stephanie Wayman. I am the Assistant Superintendent for Upper Lake Unified. I'm also the elementary school principal for K-5. We have approximately 380 students, kindergarten through 5th grade, and couldn't do our work without all of our relationships and partners.
Hi, my name is Fawn Rave. I'm the Education Director for Robinson Rancheria of Pomo Indians of California. I'm also a high school coach for Upper Lake for volleyball and coach middle school girls basketball for Upper Lake.
Hello, my name is Annie Petruska-Petrie. I'm the principal at Upper Lake High School. We have about 350 students. I have one of those students with me. I'll go ahead and let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Madeline Young from Upper Lake and Habemetal.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Joy Marks. I am the Education Director for Habemetal Pomo of Upper Lake. We have about 30 youth in the school district, and Maddie Young is one of our tribal members.
Hi, I'm Amanda Lochner. I am a co-advisor for the Native American Club at Upper Lake High School, as well as a science teacher and instructional coach.
Tenderly Logan is our Director of Student Services and Special Ed Services as well.
Hi, everyone. We have LCOE partners, Mike. We have Lake County Office of Education on the line with us as well. I don't know if Angela's available or not, but I did see her there as well, joining us.
Awesome. Our statement for our problem of practice was really created, as you will see in the cards beyond this, with a strong bond between our supporters and our Native American Action Committee. And with all of that work that we've done to get to this point and to be in year 1 of this program, that honest discussion really led us to this problem of practice. Data suggests, both quantitative and qualitative, that there is lack of parent engagement and student voice coming from our Native American community. Because of generational trauma in our local tribes, the district struggled to systematically build cultural capacity amongst district staff to address the needs of our Native community. And I would like Fawn Rave, she presented on our initial presentation, really what that generational trauma is specifically and how it really spreads throughout all the key components that we really need to work on and make this a high priority. So Fawn.
So when we talk about our generational trauma, you know, our Native communities have that trauma that goes from generation to generation: drugs, alcohol, abuse, neglect, and it's been brought down from family to family. And then there's the other side of our families have been in this county. We are a small county, and they have been here since they were children. They grew up in this county, their children grew up, their grandchildren that are now in schools, and we have grandmothers, aunties raising these children. So when they went to these schools, they were treated very poorly. their children, when they went, were treated very poorly. So now when we have their grandchildren and great grandchildren in our schools, and the kid says, oh, they're being mean to me, they're this, they're that, they're not going to believe the school over what their child's saying, because they've been through that. They've dealt with this school district and being treated poorly for all these years, that it's been really hard for us to get the schools to realize, like, we have to take this a step further. We have to really open up and listen to what they went through. And then we have to come up with ways for us to help them heal and be able to move forward from what they've had, how they've been dealt with in the school district, the years that they went there, and their families, what they've gone through. So we've taken the time with our school to have a cultural awareness with all of our staffing, from the janitor to bus drivers to the superintendent, bringing in locals from our area. We have 7 tribes around our lake, and all of our tribes are intertwined in our families. One child from a tribe across the lake could be living with the family over on our side of the lake. And so we brought in to share our culture, to share our trauma, to share ways we can help these families build the strength to step to us, to have trust in the school district. And with myself and Joy being that liaison between our tribes, and really fighting for our tribes and our parents, for their voice to be heard, for our children's voice to be heard, has come a long way. The school district and the staffing that's there now, and myself and Joy, we work very well. They listen very well. They take our suggestions, and building that relationship between our education departments and the tribes and the schools has brought us way ahead than what we were in the past.
Fawn, I think you nailed it. We definitely are the bridge between our parents and the school district, and we're slowly but surely building that trust and building that communication, so that way we can move forward and increase that relationship between our tribes and the local school district.
Thank you, Fawn and Joy. And with that information and kind of history that these wonderful leaders has brought to our Native American Action Committee, we were able to really have some of those difficult brainstorming conversations that we may not have been able to have 3 years ago. But with the hard work we've done to be able to build that trust, we came up with these areas of need that really put together that statement that we just read. And so cultural barriers, student voice, lack of parent communication, a need at the middle school to focus more on the lesson strength from the work that we've done on the Lake County Strong. It's a curriculum with the help of the local tribes and leaders throughout the county to create some curriculum that was specific to the history of our county, of our tribes, bringing it together with all disciplines of education. Bringing this information into our LCAP goals and continuing to put that in our living documents, and making sure that that proof is in the pudding, that it's in there, that they can see it on public display. So with that information and that brainstorming activity that we did, we came up with 3 focal areas that are root causes. Some of the ones that I talked to you about, we wanted to make sure that we connected to the Community Engagement Initiative Theory of Action, and specifically with the school and district outcomes, school and district staff outcomes, families and community member outcomes, and student outcomes. With that being said, we have our strategies that will go very specific to our top 3. Parent connection. We have a very strong Native American club at the high school. So we're really building on that student voice action, getting very tangible outcomes, especially pre-COVID, being able to do it on campus, and our schools have generally been open throughout. So having our students on campus has been huge with that. We definitely have discussed, and like Joy had said previously, having those Ed Center directors be that facilitator to help us make more and more connections with the families. Annie, do you have any extra input on this element?
I'll go ahead and let Maddie talk a little bit about the student voice, specifically with the clubs, and then inside the classroom with some of the curriculum at the high school level.
Okay.
So we do have our Native American club, that Wolfpack club that Miss Lochner is like take charge of. And our history teacher, Mr. Rajer, teaches a college history of Native American history. And I was able to help teach our students how to play hand games and different cultural awarenesses. And we did have a lot of speakers come in that I like reached out to get, because I thought it'd be helpful for them to tell us their side of the story.
And that has led us to this year, Maddie is taking a college, go ahead.
Mexican American history.
Well, thank you, Maddie. Talked briefly about our Lake County Strong component. Like Ms. Wayment, they make use of that curriculum very well at the elementary school. And as you see on our card, we really wanted to expand that into the middle school capacity and get our 6th through 8th teachers to participate in that a little bit more. So Ms. Wayman, briefly, could you touch base on that Lake County Strong curriculum?
Absolutely. And I think, again, thanks to our tribal directors who have had integral parts in creating this curriculum. It's all California standards aligned. And what it actually provides is it provides an opportunity for the students to see their culture in the classroom. Our goal is to make sure that students know that their culture is welcome in the classrooms, on the school campus, much like Maddie said, in the clubs, not just recognized outside of school, but it's a part of who all of us are, whether we benefit from being tribally connected or not. We are all tribally connected. And so we've been able to focus on our math lessons. We've been able to focus on history lessons, writing lessons, language lessons, keeping some of those cultural aspects alive. And we integrate it all year long with different capacities. The teachers have absolutely loved it. The students have all had hands-on activities with it and benefited from those resources. So we're very grateful and looking for the next level of curriculum that I know they're working on to send out to us.
Sorry, what I'd like to add to that is that this curriculum in the classroom is giving our students a sense of belonging and identity, and they can also be proud of their culture and share it with their classmates. So this has been really crucial in reaching out to not only our Native students, but they're bringing it home and they're talking to the families and parents and sharing what they are doing in the class. And so we're starting to build those relationships.
And trust.
Yeah, so that was one of the things I was going to add is this one good thing that came out of COVID and being home, having a little extra time because our centers weren't running. Myself and Joy with some other reps from our other local tribes were able to work with Lake County Office of Ed and start developing this curriculum. Our tribes have asked for our history of our local tribes, which is very strong in Lake County and has been here for many years, to be taught, not just to be taught the Native American history that's in the books, to be taught our local history, to give our community a better understanding of the Pomo people that reside here for many years. So this is a big win for our Native communities around the lake, and for Upper Lake to be the school that was the first to just on their own go look it up and start putting it in their classrooms. We are currently doing an 8-month training for our teachers to learn this curriculum, to ask us questions, to get a better understanding so that our middle schools and high schools can now be using this. And we're still working, we're still building this curriculum and adding to it. So this is a huge win. And stuff like this is what opens the eyes to our Native communities that, okay, maybe things are changing. Maybe they don't just care about the dollar amount for our children. Maybe they really care about us. And that builds that trust with our Native families.
Quickly touching base on our stakeholder involvement. Obviously, I've mentioned our Native American Action Committee, and that really is the Stakeholder Hub. This is a lot of everybody that you've listened to in this presentation are a definite part of that committee. Community, tribal leaders, school administration, faculty, student leaders, and local leadership representation. And it is a commitment of built trust and honest communication, like I said, and that team support really is going to help us create and implement these strategies to make us successful on dealing with this problem practice. As we saw before, the Pomo of Upper Lake, Abimatal, Robinson Rancheria, Pomo Indians of California, our North Shore Youth Club, which has a lot of these same members. I'm the president of that youth club to get our local youth involved in athletics, academic clubs on our side of the lake. So it's easy access and positive reinforcement, and just the community of Upper Lake.
I think too, sorry, Smith had stated with the sports, sports helped me stay. I graduated from Upper Lake. I grew up on Robinson. It helped me choose a different path. Sports and being involved in that. Upper Lake, I think, is one of we have other schools around the lake that have Native coaches, but Upper Lake is the one that has had many from Upper Lake's tribe and Robinson's tribe. A lot of our tribal members have gone back and have been a part of coaching, and that builds a trust, because back in the day, if you were Native, they didn't really they weren't treated fairly when it came to the sports and stuff, and they were just pushed to the side. And now having that connection of coaches, it helps build that trust with the tribes and their tribal families to get their children involved and to make better choices and be involved with the healthy sport and other programs like NYC offers.
So just like Joy and Fawn are both great role models for their tribes, for our school, for their families and their own children, all of our coaches that come on, whether they're from the tribal communities or not, serve as great role models for all of our youth. And we are very fortunate that we have many tribal leaders that are those great role models making a difference. One of the big takeaways that I have heard through our work with the CEI program is that building that trust one step at a time and listening to those needs. I think that the current pandemic has definitely impacted all of us. And one takeaway is time and continuing to focus, but also acknowledging that it is going to take time. Fawn did a great job capturing our generational challenges that we're addressing and the understanding that we will continue to work, but we also need to celebrate our little successes, because we understand that we are working on the next generation, building relationships with current generations, and hoping to make long-lasting changes through listening and partnering with our community.
So much, Upper Lake. This is just fantastic. I know we'd love to be here all morning just listening to all of this and hearing our student voice and just everything that you're doing to raise equity and voice for everyone.